Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sound Bath Sundays. While we wait a little bit for people to show up here on YouTube, and I can have my lovely assistant try to figure out how to get myself straightened out here. Maybe you can see me right there, Noel.
I can see you good on here.
On Facebook, on YouTube?
On YouTube.
Es que I don't understand why the camera, see how this goes like at an incline? Hi, I
You're
think
fine.
those are my parents. Anyway, hi. Oh, there she is. Noelle is so kind to be helping me today. Hey, Dana, welcome. Great to see you here today. I'm actually starting on YouTube right now, Sound Bath Sundays, and today we're going to talk about harnessing the power of the new moon to strengthen our desires, to actually, so we can plant the seeds and the moon makes our desires grow. And it's really interesting. I have an interesting story about the moon and my hair, which seems totally unrelated, but it's actually, you'll get the point when I'm done with the story. Anyway, the link is right there under Noelle. It's bit.ly ss_new moon. So I'd love to have you guys come over and watch me over here on YouTube. Thank you. Come on over. All right. So thank you so much. There we go. I'm actually uploading, doing it right for the first time. Yay. And then, Noel, if you want to just start me on Insta.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I'm so excited because I have my amazing daughter here with me, helping me live. Here's Noelle. Do you want to show your face? Here's Noelle.
Hello.
Thank you, sweetheart. She's like, hello, everybody. Hello. Doing the queen salute. Hi, guys. So today we're doing a simulcast. I even got the word right. Is that it, Noel?
What?
Simulcast.
Sure.
On Instagram and YouTube.
Oh, it's new. I haven't heard it.
Yeah. Simulcast is when you do it simultaneously.
Wow.
You broadcast two places at one time. Lovely. That's how I like to be in two places at one time. That's my dream. Let's move this little beautiful orchid over here because it's in my face. Anyway, now I think I'm settled. Welcome to Sound Bath Sundays. It's so good to have you here. Today I'm going to talk about the moon, the new moon energy today at 10 o'clock. I think it came in. I can't remember the exact time. I think it was 10. I know it's today, the 23rd. I think it depends, right? I think here it was at 7 in the morning. It doesn't matter. The new moon energy is going on right as we speak. So it's very appropriate that I'm talking about this today. I usually do ceremonies during the new moon and the full moon. They're totally different energies. And if you just think for a second that we're made of water, right? At least 75% of you is water. And if you see the tides and the different pulls that the moon has on the tide, you can start to understand and relate to how your moods can change or your physical state can change depending on the state of the moon and its pull on our water in our body. And many years ago, I used to live in upstate New York or whatever. It wasn't the suburbs of New York. People called it upstate. It was half an hour away. I didn't call it upstate. But anyway, I lived in a place where I used to go to this Costco all the time. And this lady that I befriended had always different hairdos. But when I'm talking different hairdos, one day she was shaved The next day next week I saw her, or 2 weeks later, she had her hair down to her shoulders. And so one day the change had been so dramatic when I saw her that I said, oh my gosh, I love your wigs. You're just amazing. And she started laughing so much. She's like, they're not wigs. It's my hair. And I'm like, yeah, right. Okay. So how is that possible? Last week or 2 weeks ago when I was here, your head was shaved, and now your hair is down to your jawline. And she said to me that her grandmother would always, since she was a baby, cut her hair during the new moon, and she followed the farmer's almanac. So me being me, I thought, well, I have to try this, because I had ever since my daughter was born, I had, for some reason, a lot of challenges growing my hair. It would grow down like to my shoulder line, maybe like here, but it wouldn't grow any further. And I always loved my long hair. So I decided I was going to try this technique. So I started following cutting my hair on the new moon, and I will not do it any other day. And I was going to the salon, and I one day I told my hairdresser that that's what I was doing, because I needed an appointment on such date. And she was like, well, we don't have an appointment. I said, you have to make room for me. It's the new moon. I need to get my hair cut on this day. And she was just totally like, okay, this woman is crazy. But then I explained to her what I was doing, and she thought it was hilarious. Then she shared it with everybody at the salon. They all thought it was hilarious. They made fun of me like crazy. But one of them thought, well, that's interesting, because she noticed that my hair was actually growing a lot. And so she decided to try it. Well, soon they would close the salon for a couple of hours during the new moon. And if it was a Sunday or a Monday when they weren't working, they would all meet at the salon, and they would give each other haircuts, because this girl started doing it and realized how powerful that was and how much her hair was growing. The others started noticing, and needless to say, they were very thankful to me. They apologized for having made fun of me, and they had their sessions like they would close the salon for 2 hours so that they could give each other haircuts. So for the past 2 Sundays, this would be the third one, we've been talking about making your desires show up in this dimension, right? Because a desire is an idea. It has to be formed in your brain before it shows up on this plane. Now, I talk about it, right? This chair was an idea before it happened, before they gathered the material for it, before anything. It was an idea in someone's mind, and then they found the way to create the chair and the material, and then how to build it, and then how to put the little protection, just everything that had to happen for it to show up here in my house came from an idea. Every ship, every plane, every chair, every desk, every computer, everything that exists on this plane before it happened was an idea. And so are your desires. Before they show up on this plane, they are an idea in the ether. Now, a wonderful thing to make things come and get a quick connection into this dimension is when you have this idea is to write it down. But don't use your computer, because it's a totally different sensation and totally different action when you use a pen or a pencil and paper and you write it down longhand, and you're using your hand. You're using part of what's called the VAK system of learning, which is visual, kinesthetic, and auditory. So visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, right? So you're seeing it, you're visualizing your idea in your mind's eye. you're hearing it because you're speak it out loud. Today we're going to speak it out loud a little bit. And then the kinesthetic part where you write it down, you're seeing it written down, and you're touching the pencil, and you're bringing that idea from the ether into your mind, through your body, onto the paper, and you're allowing it to start taking shape. So what does the moon have to do with all of this? Well, in the Farmer's Almanac, the new moon is also a time for you to plant your seeds. So it's a wonderful time in nature to plant seeds, but it's also a wonderful time to plant the seeds of our ideas into this plane. So usually what I do is the day before the new moon, I sit down and I write down whatever I feel that no longer serves me. And I also write, and whatever else that I don't know that may be stopping me or preventing me from having my desire show up. Okay? So I write it all down, then I burn the paper or I tear it up in little pieces if you can't burn it. I usually burn it because the fire also transmutes, right? We're using the power of fire. We're going to then use the power of the moon. And then on the new moon, I write out my desires. And I usually keep a journal because, see, what happens is now the new moon is very, very special moon today because it's the new moon in Pisces. I'm a Pisces, so it's my moon. And I'm also, my moon is in Pisces. So for me, it can be a very emotional time, but it can also be a very time for deepening my connection to spirit. So I really honor the phases of the moon. And so then I keep a journal. So the new moon today is in Pisces, and the cycle completes on the full moon. But the full in Pisces as well. But the full moon in Pisces won't be for another 6 months. So if this is February, then the full moon in Pisces should land in August. So we have a 6-month period where sometimes it takes that long. Sometimes it takes 2 periods, but I have worked with people where we've planted seeds for desires and they have come about very, very quickly, sometimes in a month, 2 months, sometimes it takes longer. One of my friends that I worked with, she planted her seeds on a new moon during a retreat that we had. And literally 6 months on the day of the full moon, she met her soulmate, whom I consider to be her soulmate, an incredible man that has been just an incredible relationship. And it has been fantastic. And I'm so happy for her because they're really, really happy. They met on the full moon. It was just like magic, really. And she literally was invited to dinner by a friend, and the friend invited her boyfriend now, and they met and they just hit it off, and they have been inseparable since that day. So it happens, people. So today I'm going to invite you, if your desires are actually still not showing up. Some of you have sent me emails saying, oh my gosh, this is working, right? So make sure that you keep at it, keep imagining yourself being grateful. And it's very good if you write on your journal, thank you for this having shown up. Something else that I want to share with you. And that is that sometimes, and I know this happens or used to happen to me all the time, and now it happens to me a lot less, but sometimes when I have a desire, I feel like I'm asking too much of the universe somehow. I don't know if it's asking too much, or you feel like maybe you're not going to get it. There's a little bit of doubt about you getting your desire. And I noticed that when I am convicted in my idea, convicted in my desire, know that I'm having it. Who cares if I deserve it or don't deserve it, if I'm worthy or if I'm not worthy? I get out of my head about being worthy or not, or deserving or not deserving, because frankly, all of us who are here on this plane have already won the ticket, because apparently there's millions of souls waiting in line to come into this dimension. So if you're already here, you already won the lotto. So you're already deserving because you're here. So if you're thinking that you don't deserve, knock it off. Make sure you just like not think about it. Don't give that any mind. Don't give that attention, because remember, where we put our attention, that's what grows, right? So we're not going to put our attention on the fact that we don't feel worthy or blah, blah, blah. We're going to put it on, I'm having it. And when you decide that you have it with conviction, you are grateful about it, and then you command the universe. Instead of asking, pleading, begging, or being the nice girl, asking nicely, you can command the universe nicely, but it's a different energy. Like literally today, I was doing some things with Noelle and they weren't working out. It just wasn't happening. And I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. And I said, I command the divinity in me. And whoop, whatever we were doing happened. Noelle's face, just like her eyes almost popped out of her face, right, Noelle? Hi, Noelle. And and it happened. And I said, that is the energy that we need to create. When we are creating magic, when you are all focused on your desire, on creation of something, and you put all your love and all your energy, and you get generous with that love, you let it just flow. It kind of just inundates the energy of your desire, and it allows to happen. And that part of it, when you're using the moon energy and then you're flooding it with your love, then that is the whatever the food, the nourishment for your desire, for your seed to start growing. And then the thing we need to do is to let it go, release it, forget about it. You've asked for it, it's done. Say thank you and let it go into the universe. Surrender it to the universe. Because when we keep thinking, oh, it hasn't happened, oh my gosh, it still hasn't happened, oh, I guess it's not going to happen because it hasn't happened yet, and all these ideas, it's the equivalent of going in the dirt and digging out your seed to see if it's sprouted yet. So what we do is we surrender it, we release it into the universe. That's why we did the bubble exercise. So we're going to do the bubble exercise again. We're going to put our desire, we're going to plant our seed, and then we're going to imagine it in a bubble or a balloon just flying away. Watch it till it just disappears into the ether, and then pay it no mind. That is the energy that you need to do. You command the universe your desire, and the universe will be so thrilled to give it to you. And that is why you don't have to plead or beg. You just make a decision. You command with conviction. You give thanks for it already having happened. And then you go live your life and have a happy day and enjoy and be grateful for everything you do have in your life, and stop worrying about that thing that hasn't shown up. And you start making sure that whatever you have in your life is more than enough. See, if you already woke up this morning, you were breathing, that's more than enough. more than many people can say. If you have a roof over your head, that's another thing. If you have food on the table, thank God you have food on the table. If you have light, electricity, if you have heating, if it's cold, if you have air conditioning, if it's hot, whatever it is, start giving thanks. And when you start being grateful, your heart gets filled, and there's very little room for little else other than that gratitude and that love. So it's not about feeling that there's not enough, because this universe is abundant. The other day someone told me, it's like, do you ever worry that there's not enough stars? It's like, no, and depending on where you are on the planet, I'm telling you, when I went to New Zealand, I have never seen a sky so full of stars, because from the southern hemisphere, you see apparently so many more stars. And not apparently, I was there. It was like, holy cow. I mean, I thought I knew what stars were until I went to the southern hemisphere. And that was unbelievable. When I was in New Zealand, it was just magnificent. It was almost scary to see that amount of stars. I've never in my life could even imagine it. And we saw a bunch of shooting stars, and it was just like a natural occurrence to see shooting stars on a regular day, right? On a regular night. And it was just absolutely phenomenal. So we were never worried about not having enough stars at night, and if it's cloudy, we don't wonder if the sun is there or not, right? We know the sun is there, we just cannot see it. So sometimes we're getting, a cloudy day or a cloudy time in our lives, and all we have to do is stay patient, stay grateful with everything that we do have, and then you watch the magic happen. So we say hi to Harry this morning. Oh, it's a little cold. It's been cold last night. And it's interesting because, yay, spring is coming over here. It is, I feel it in my bones already. It's, I have been very grateful that, I'm getting a phone call here. I'm being very grateful that, the winter has been very, very mild. It makes me worry about global warming, because it's abnormally warm. But I am grateful for my part, because it has been wonderful. It hasn't been so demanding on my health, and it's been an amazing time. And now I feel that spring is coming. Last night it was 21 degrees in the cold, but now it's 50 something, 55 already. I think it's going to get up to 57 degrees, which is pretty amazing. So I am grateful for that. Anyway, go ahead and let's get ready for our sound bath. If you'd like to put your feet flat on the floor, your hands, palms facing up today on your thighs. And then we're going to do 3 to 6 cleansing breaths in through your nose. Then you're going to hold for 1 or 2 counts. And then you're going to release with a big sigh, like an ah. And when you get to the end of your breath, you're going to hold for another 1 or 2 counts. Organically, whatever feels natural and organic to you, but just do a little hold, and then breathe in again, and then hold, and then release, and then hold, and then breathe in again. Do that 3 to 6 times. And if you'd like, bring forth your desire. Again, keep working with the same one you've been working. If you if it hasn't shown up yet. And imagine you're planting the seeds of your dreams. And then you're going to release release them into the ether. If you haven't already, you can go ahead and close your eyes. Allow your heart to fill with gratitude. Blend with the love, that infinite capacity of your heart to love against all odds. Let it all go. And when you're ready, bring yourself back. Wiggle your toes. Do a little shake about. Do a little stretch. Do one more cleansing breath. Feel how good that feels in your body and your head. Bringing all that oxygen and that glucose so that your mind wakes up. Is able to function and think clearly. Radio Revista. Hola, Cris. Y Radio Revista Provincial o Provinciana, no sé, nada más se ve provincia, Radio Revista La Provincia. Ah, Radio Revista La Provincia. Hola, bienvenidos. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I hope you're feeling amazing. And I expect that your seeds will be sprouting. Keep a journal. Be grateful. Send love. Surrender. And just make a choice to feel good and be happy every day, because being happy is a choice that comes from inside. And all you have to do is choose it. Thank you for being here today. I love you, and I will see you next week. There we go. Let's see if that's right. All right. See you guys.